In modern warfare, information is a double-edged weapon. When an army suffers heavy losses, loses many units of equipment, and the country faces massive infrastructure damage, the government will try to shield citizens from negative information. This seems logical, but what about Russia? It is winning, capturing cities, fighting NATO, and destroying tens of thousands of equipment. This is how our forces dismantle NATO hardware. Burned out Abrams and Bradley. Enough drinking. The Russian flag rises over another Donbass village. Strikes hit the energy grid, factories, Oreshnik, and memes about Ukrainian mobilization spread. It seems like a continuous victory, so why block these sources? And why is no messenger app blocked in Ukraine? Ukrainians seem vulnerable to a flood of negative information. In this episode, I will answer these questions. Viber, Telegram, Twitter, WhatsApp, YouTube, and others are tools of information sharing. But tools are useless without material. In Russia's war against Ukraine, that material is frontline videos. Personal channels of soldiers and units post unique content, videos of burning tanks, battles, and drone strikes. Thousands of channels share the same footage with different framing. These videos spread through messages, work chats, and family groups. The network works so that even without military subscriptions, viral war footage still reaches you. The more vivid and shocking the videos, the more likely they are to reach Russian viewers. Yes, Z channels hype every video with an Abrams as if it were another Berlin. But there are far fewer such videos than those showing Russian tanks like the T-90M. According to Oryx, the tank loss ratio is 4-1 against Russia, so there are 4 times more Ukrainian videos of destroyed Russian tanks. Ukraine has no reason to block messengers and is interested in keeping them stable. Even Twitter, turned by Elon Musk into a propaganda dump, remains open in Ukraine, unlike in Russia. Billions spent on propaganda cannot suppress that core layer or the human urge to post online. At the same time, the Russian government is unable to solve this problem militarily. It cannot force its army to fight better or destroy as many Ukrainian tanks as it loses itself. Therefore, channels spreading military content must be banned so Russia can claim victory, if not in reality, then at least virtually. Citizens see only gains, new villages and towns, without losses or the cost in lives. The problem is messenger app owners do not want to delete channels or break user anonymity. Last year, Viber faced pressure from Russia demanding personal data of authors of anti-Russian content. Viber refused and was fully blocked. Once Russia's third most popular messenger, its ban had little impact. Now only Telegram and WhatsApp remain, as all others are restricted or banned. This applies to Russian military bloggers too. Anyone opposing the party line is jailed, silenced, or dead. Putin controls information by moving people to approved messengers and platforms, letting his propaganda infiltrate the internet. As for Telegram, it is reasonable to assume that the blocking of Viber was a rehearsal. The Russian government simply blocked one of the country's largest messengers, quietly and without fuss. And with each passing day, the idea of blocking Telegram becomes easier to imagine. Telegram is a hub for the Z community, where war correspondents emerged spontaneously. Their influence was once strong, But after Russian intelligence efforts, they no longer threaten the central party line. Unlike Viber or Telegram, WhatsApp allows only small, non-anonymous chats for work or family, posing little threat to the Z information field. WhatsApp remains accessible despite Meta being labeled extremist in Russia, but it could be blocked, as attempts to slow it down have been seen. Interestingly, anti-Russian content is so strong that the government tries to limit it even in private chats. Still, control over information cannot win the battlefield, as the core layer remains Ukrainian, making Russian access to Telegram costly. I believe all war correspondents will soon move to a Russian platform like vKontakte, reporting to a fully controlled audience, a closed world where everything seems fine. In reality, this strategy risks the Russian system, as the virtual operation drifts from reality, and officials cross all reasonable limits. Published stats on Ukrainian losses are staggering. The key rule is that Ukraine must lose more, making losses and destroyed equipment figures grow to obscene levels. I believe Putin's people may truly believe their own lies. Surrounded by falsehoods, they can become victims themselves. Who knows if the red folder with real intelligence even exists? It's unclear if those figures exist. I doubt they do. But Russia must increase lies to justify this madness. The taller the tower, the harder the fall. The lightning-fast campaign to overthrow Assad proves this. Russian military presence seemed to guarantee stability, and Assad's and Putin's propaganda worked hard to show the regime's strength. But the reality was different. The regime fell in 12 days, and nothing could stop it. The same could happen to Russia. Many experts expect Ukraine's front to collapse as Russian propaganda promises. Yet the opposite is possible. The Russian army could fall, and the government, believing its own propaganda, might not notice in time. In summary, shutting down Viber is another step toward information isolation, as the Putin system builds an alternative universe that serves the regime without connection to reality. This strategy could backfire for Russia. By deceiving others, it deceives itself. Victory in the information war was not won by Ukrainian media, but by a state investing in projects no one watches. The victory came from ordinary Ukrainian soldiers using drones, free editing software, and Telegram. Enthusiasts then developed this content into analyses and articles for the global community. Based on visuals, analysts found that in Pokrovsk battles, Russia lost more tanks and armored vehicles than any European army has, even though the city is not taken, done without Ukrainian oversight or funding. The credit for blocking information in Russia goes to Ukrainian soldiers. For Putin to win the information war, he must first defeat the Ukrainian army near Kiev, not Pokrovsk, as such losses are unjustified.